Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel, and if you're new, welcome. I'm so glad you're here. So SAS kicked off yesterday in stores, and I did attend the sale. I did get Musk and Firecracker Pop a couple days before the sale started, but I wanted to include both of them. Obviously, Firecracker Pop is a release that was meant specifically for SAS, and then Musk was not released at the same time for the same purpose, but it is a part of the sale, so I wanted to include it as well. So I've been wanting Musk for a while, and I'm glad that I finally got it. The fragrance notes in here are musk, mimosa flower, and rice milk. I really like this scent, and it's perfect for any time of the year, but it does actually remind me a little bit more of cooler weather, and because I have a large collection and a lot of fragrances that I'm wanting to wear right now, specifically for the warmer weather, I do think I'm going to put this one away and save it for cooler weather. But I do really like musk, and I'm glad that I finally got this one. So then we have Firecracker Pop, and the fragrance notes in here are red cherry, fresh citrus, and juicy berry. It says, bring a treat and grab a seat. Let's celebrate the summer with a block party. So I really like this scent. I purchased this a long time ago, and I really liked the scent when I purchased it, but there was something in it that to me smelled synthetic or artificial, and it just did not smell right. So I ended up returning that version. And I knew this one was going to be coming out, and I was like, maybe it will be a little bit different this time. I do remember saying that whenever I returned this one that I hope they would come back out with it and maybe reformulate it so it didn't have that weird synthetic scent to it. And at the time, I thought that maybe it could have just been that the fragrance notes were clashing, or it could have been just the way the fragrance was made. So I did want to give Firecracker Pop another chance, and I do think that this one has been reformulated a little bit because it just smells a lot better in my opinion. It does need to dry down first before you kind of judge what the fragrance smells like, because when I first sprayed this out, I was kind of afraid that it was going to be like the version that I used to have. But once I let it dry down really good and smelled of it that way, it just smells like a normal fragrance. And I'm really happy about that because I do remember really liking this fragrance. I just had to return it because at the time it did not smell right to me. But like I said, this fragrance smells really good once you let it dry down. I did spray it on my hand right here, and I'm smelling of it now, and it's a really good fragrance. I have heard people say that it smells like Hawaiian Punch, and I don't think they're wrong at all. I do think it smells a lot like Hawaiian Punch, and so for that reason, I really like it, because anything that smells like Hawaiian Punch would be right up my alley. So I am glad that Bath & Body Works seemingly reformulated this, because in my opinion, it does smell better. I have had that issue with a lot of fragrances from Bath & Body Works where they would smell really good, but something in them just smelled synthetic to the point that I could no longer wear them. And I do think that Bath & Body Works has probably heard those concerns from other people as well, and maybe they are taking it into account and slowly improving their fragrances over time, because like I said, this one does seem different. And then next we have Freesia. So whenever I was finding out that Freesia was going to be coming out as part of SAS, I was really excited. I associated this with a fragrance I had in my childhood that was also called Freesia that I do not think was from Bath & Body Works. I really loved that scent when I was growing up, and I used to wear it all the time, and I just really like it, and it's the reason that I like Freesia notes in fragrances. Cherry Blossom over here has a Freesia note in it that is done the right way, and you can smell it whenever you smell this fragrance, and it just smells so, so good. And I love Freesia for that reason, for the way it smells in this fragrance and the way I remember the Freesia fragrance smelling that I had when I was a kid. I've just always liked Freesia notes because of that. And so that's what I was expecting from this. But this to me does not at all smell like a Freesia fragrance. And when I first sprayed this out, to me it smelled kind of bitter, almost like mildew or something. And I was like, what is happening here? So I was like, I'm not getting that. But I kept going back to it and smelling of it again and letting it dry down. And also, I had been smelling of other scents right before I smelled of this one that were more sweet. So I think maybe it clashed with this one whenever I smelled of it, because I had just been smelling other fragrances that were really sweet. So I came back to it and I kept letting it dry down and smelled of it in the dry down, and it did smell way, way better, to the point that I did like it and I wanted to get the fragrance. And actually, I was still kind of undecided on it, but I decided that I would go ahead and get it since it was only $3.95 and it was part of SAS. It may not come back for a long time, so. And I also thought, well, you know, I can end up returning this one if I don't like it, so there's no harm in getting it. It would be better to get it now and then be able to use it, as opposed to if I decided that I really wanted it and then it wasn't available anymore. So I did end up getting it. I do like this scent, but to me, it doesn't make me think of freesia, and it doesn't smell like freesia, in my opinion. Like I said, cherry blossom has a freesia note in here. And whenever I was spraying this one out and smelling of it yesterday, the freesia note was very detectable to me, and it smelled like a true freesia note. And it also smelled like the freesia fragrance that I had when I was a kid. And the reason that I say I don't think that one was by Bath & Body Works is because that one smelled so drastically different from this. I want to say maybe it was by Body Fantasies or something like that. But that fragrance smelled like a true freesia note, or a true freesia fragrance, and it's the reason that I like freesia notes. So I will say that I am a little bit disappointed with this one, because it just doesn't smell like freesia in my opinion, but it does smell good. I do like this, and I suppose that if I continued to smell of it more, I would probably be able to pick out a little bit of freesia in it, but it's definitely not what I expected at all. I do think I'm going to continue to give this one a chance and wear it. Sometimes, like, if I wear a fragrance throughout the day, it will help me decide whether or not I want to keep that fragrance in my collection. So I'm definitely going to probably wear this one within the next few days and decide if it's one that I want to keep or whatever. But like I said, it is a good scent, I think. I mean, I sprayed it out yesterday and I kept going back to it and smelling of it, and it did smell good. It's just not at all what I expected. But I will wear it and decide if it's one that I want to keep. And as of right now, I'm thinking that it probably is. But the fragrance notes are freesia, creamy hyacinth, and white musk. It says celebrate the season with your favorite throwback fragrance. So it's a good one, and I'm excited to wear it and test it out and see what I think about it. Again, is it what I was expecting? Not at all. So I'm a little disappointed in that. I would love to find a fragrance that is just freesia, that just smells like freesia. That would be great to me. So if y'all have any suggestions for that, let me know below. Hey y'all, so I'm editing and I went back and I was smelling of this some more, like while I was sitting here editing, and I am starting to be able to pick out some of the freesia that is in this fragrance. I smelled of the cap. It was already dried down when I was smelling of it yesterday, but maybe it just changes after it's been sprayed out for a while, and it just smells really good to me. Like, this is a really good fragrance. I do like this. I do know that I'm going to end up keeping it. It doesn't smell exactly like freesia, but I am able to detect more of the freesia now, and it could be just because I have not overloaded my nose on other fragrances and smelling of lots of other things at one time. But I was sitting here just now, and like I said, I was smelling of this again, and I am able to pick out more of the freesia that's in here now. And it is starting to show up more whenever I smell of it. So I do like this a lot more than I thought I did. And overall, it does smell really good, and I do think I'm going to keep it and probably get a lot of enjoyment out of it. So I did want to add that into the video because this is a really good fragrance. And I think I may have already said this, but I can't remember because I have tried to film this video several times. But these are the fragrances that I chose, and the other ones that were part of the SAS that came out specifically for SAS, if I didn't purchase them, it's because I either already have them, or I don't really care for them, or maybe I had them and they were okay, but I ended up returning them. So that's why I didn't get any of the other ones. I did smell of Cloud 9 while I was in the store, because I've never really been into Cloud 9 or Confetti Daydream. But I was like, it's SAS and they're coming back out, and they could be, you know, reformulated, and they might smell a little bit different. I just never really cared for them in the past. I don't think that I thought they smelled bad. I just didn't really care about them. So I tried Confetti Daydream yesterday, and I tried Cloud 9. And Cloud 9 definitely does not smell bad to me. I do kind of like that fragrance, but to me, it's just okay. And I just didn't really want to bring it into my collection with me having so many fragrances. I might possibly go back and get it, especially since it's only $3.95. And if it goes down to a lower price than that, which is not likely, but it could happen, then I will probably definitely go back and get it. But I did try Confetti Daydream, and I decided that I like it better now. And I ended up getting this one, and the fragrance notes in it are fresh raspberries, sparkling pear, and blue iris. It says, welcome to Wonderland, where sugar spun clouds float in the sky and dreams take flight. So I do like this scent, and it is a little bit sugary in my opinion, which is why I ended up going with this one. But it's not something that is like candy sweet, really, in my opinion. Maybe the little bit of sugariness that's in here is a little bit candy sweet, but to me, it kind of just smells like what it says, with like the raspberries and the pear and the iris. There's not really any candy notes in here, but like I said, it does have a touch of candy sweetness to it, or sugary sweetness, and I like it okay. And so I decided that I would get this one and bring it with me. And then I was smelling it this morning, and I was like, wow, I'm really glad that I got this one, because it is better than I thought it was. So definitely got that one. I already have Cotton Candy Clouds, so I did not get that one. But Cloud 9, I might go back and get. I have not decided on it, but like I said, to me, it's just kind of okay. But with it being SAS and it being so cheap, I may go back and get it. That's the only one that I liked kind of, but did not get. So I'm just undecided on it, is what I'm trying to say. But I do like Confetti Daydream, and I'm glad that I got it. So next is Cherry Blossom. This is just a classic scent. It says the fragrance notes are dewy watermelon, red plum, cherry blossom, sheer freesia, and soft sandalwood. Celebrate the season with your favorite throwback fragrance. So Cherry Blossom is another one that I have owned in the past and ended up returning. And this is one that I was not planning on getting. There were several that I was not planning on getting that I did give another chance, as far as smelling of them again, to see if they had been maybe reformulated or if they smelled different. And Cherry Blossom is one that to me smells different than the version that I used to have. This one smells better and less synthetic. And so I did end up getting this one. I'm wearing it right now. This is just a fresh and clean Cherry Blossom scent that's really, really good. This Cherry Blossom fragrance is not super stuffy or suffocating or overly powdery or anything that's going to make you like wheeze when you breathe it in or anything like that. So I do like that about it. This is more of like a fresher, cleaner, almost a little bit juicy, with like the watermelon in here and the plum. So I do really like this version of Cherry Blossom. And this is not the only Cherry Blossom fragrance that I own. But I do really like this one, and I feel like this one is slightly different from the other one that I own. So I'm excited to add it to my collection, and I'm wearing it right now, and I do like it. I like it pretty well, actually. So I'm excited that I added this one to my collection. And it is much different from Japanese Cherry Blossom in my opinion, but they do have a little bit of similarities, mainly because of the Cherry Blossom note, obviously. But this one is a lighter, fresher, airier, almost, like I said, juicy kind of scent. So really like this one. And then the next one is Tahiti Island Dream. This is probably my favorite one that I found at SAS. And the fragrance notes in here are fresh coconut water, sparkling mandarin, kiwi blossom, lush frangipani, I believe is how that's pronounced, Tahitian vanilla musk. Take a trip around the world. Enjoy the fragrance inspired by a Tahitian white sand getaway. So I really, really like this one. Like I said, this was my favorite one. And this one right here, because it's so good, it reminds me of the type of fragrances that normally come out at SAS. This is really the only one that I really, really like that I purchased. And when I go to SAS, I expect several fragrances like this with that same kind of like wow factor. But this is the only one that I got that had any type of wow factor, in my opinion. So I will say that SAS just wasn't that great to me this year, because I like to come back home with several fragrances that just really knock it out of the ballpark, that you would generally only be able to get at SAS. And to me, that didn't happen at all this year. Also because there were no new releases at SAS. Like, there were no new fragrances. Like, everything that came out was a repackage or a re-release. So I'm okay with there being some re-releases and some repackages, because obviously there's fragrances that we all really want to come back. So I'm fine with that. But the fact that there was nothing that was like a completely new fragrance, I was disappointed in that. But I did really like this fragrance, and I'm glad that I got it. And I'm glad they at least had this one, because like I said, this was really the only one that had that wow factor to me. And when I go to SAS, I expect several fragrances like that, but did not get that this year. So to me, I was not impressed at all with SAS, but at least we got this one. I really like this one so much. This one almost kind of reminds me of Thailand Sweet Kiwi and Starfruit, and it may be because I think there is a kiwi note in here. Let's see. Let's look again. Yeah, it has kiwi blossom, and there's probably some other similar notes too. So it does kind of remind me of that scent, but it's definitely different, and I really like this one. So I'm glad they came out with it, and yeah. But these are the fragrances that I ended up choosing and bringing home with me. Like I said, the other ones I either just didn't really care for, or I already have them, or I dislike them altogether. And some of them I've actually purchased in the past and wore them for a while and decided that I just didn't want them in my collection. So these were the ones I ended up bringing with me. I wasn't really impressed with this year's SAS because there wasn't anything new. And then we didn't really get any fragrances that to me were like super unique or have that wow factor like I feel like SAS fragrances usually have. Does that make sense? Does anybody feel the same way about that? And how do y'all feel about these fragrances right here and just SAS in general? Let me know what y'all ended up getting and how y'all feel about everything. And yeah, so I guess I will wrap up the video here. I hope y'all have a great day, and I hope to talk to you soon. Bye-bye.